Hi there, my name is Prajakta and this lecture is for grade 10 science, chapter number 1, chemical reactions and equations, and this is lecture 4. In this video, you will be able to understand the concept of redox reactions. So let us begin with the help of an equation. In this equation, copper reacts with oxygen to form copper oxide. Now, as you can notice, the reaction is not balanced. So, let us start by balancing the equation. In the reactant side, the number of atoms of oxygen is 2. But in the product side, it is only 1. So, we will write 2 for the product. As soon as we write 2, copper also became 2, but here the number of atom is 1 and hence we write 2 for copper in the reactant. So now the equation is balanced. Let us understand more about this equation. So in this equation, copper when heated with oxygen gets converted to copper oxide. Or in other words, we can say for copper, oxygen is getting added and it is getting converted to copper oxide. Or in other words, we can say that for copper, gain of oxygen is taking place to form copper oxide. So such reaction in which addition or gain of oxygen is taking place, it is called as oxidation. So here we can say that copper is getting oxidized to form copper oxide. So copper is getting oxidized to form copper oxide. Brilliant. Let us move ahead. Let us take an example, another equation. So in this equation, this is ethene reacting with hydrogen to form ethane. Students, about ethane, they are carbon compounds and more in detail we will be learning in chapter 4. So in this equation, what is happening is that hydrogen is getting added to ethene and it is getting converted to ethane. Or we may say that gain of hydrogen is taking place for ethene and it is getting converted to ethane. So such reactions in which hydrogen is getting added is called as reduction. So we can say that ethene is getting reduced to form ethane. Yes, so ethene is getting reduced to give ethane. So let us again quickly understand this. So we were talking oxidation, it is addition of oxygen. We spoke about reduction, it is addition of hydrogen. Also, we may say oxidation is removal of hydrogen and reduction is removal of oxygen. So let us understand this with the help of another equation. So this is an equation in front of you all. Copper oxide, when treated with hydrogen, it is getting converted to copper and water. So let us understand the changes that are taking place from reactants to products. So earlier we were having copper oxide which got converted to copper. So in this equation or in this change, what is happening here, students? That oxygen here is getting removed. loss of oxygen is taking place, and when loss of oxygen takes place for copper oxide, it gets converted to copper. So this is removal of oxygen is taking place, and removal of oxygen is nothing but reduction. Isn't it? Yes. Now let us understand for hydrogen. Students, hydrogen is getting converted to H2O, water. So here what change is taking place? पहले hydrogen था और अभी H2O बना. So what is getting added here, students? Yes, oxygen is getting added, isn't it? Yes, so reactions in which oxygen is getting added, such reactions are called as oxidation. Brilliant, isn't it? Yes. So, students, the reaction in which oxidation and reduction takes place simultaneously is called as a redox reaction. So in this reaction we can say that reduction भी हो रहा है and oxidation भी हो रहा है, दोनों एक साथ हो रहा है. Both the reactions are taking place together simultaneously in one equation, and such reactions are called as redox reaction. So this is an example of a redox reaction in which copper oxide is getting reduced to copper and hydrogen is getting oxidized to water. Let us move ahead to another equation. Yes, so here it is Fe3O4. On treating with hydrogen, it gets converted to Fe and H2O. So let us understand it again similarly like the previous equation. So here Fe3O4 is getting converted to Fe, isn't it? So here what is happening, students? Yes, removal of oxygen is taking place, and removal of oxygen is reduction. Brilliant. And for H2, yes, H2 is getting converted to H2O. So here addition of oxygen is taking place, and addition of oxygen is nothing but oxidation, isn't it? Yes, and together, yes, we call it as redox, isn't it? So in redox, red stands for reduction and ox stands for oxidation. And as reduction and oxidation is taking place together, this reaction is a redox reaction. Brilliant. Chalo, let us understand something else, something more. So here, students, in other words, we can also say that Fe3O4 is getting reduced to Fe. Yes. So the substances that get reduced, they are called as oxidizing agent. And here we can say that H2 is getting oxidized to H2O. So the substances that get oxidized, they are called as reducing agent. Okay, so a substance that tends to bring about oxidation by getting reduced is called as oxidizing agent, and a substance that tends to bring out reduction by getting oxidized is called as a reducing agent. Okay, so students, I'll explain you all this in very simple words. Okay, so students, यहाँ पे Fe3O4 का क्या हो रहा है? Yes, reduction हो रहा है. तो जिसका भी reduction होता है वो सब्सटेंस खुद क्या होता है? वो सब्सटेंस होता है ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट. ओके, एंड यहाँ पे H2 का क्या हो रहा है? H2 का हो रहा है ऑक्सीडेशन, है ना. तो जिसका ऑक्सीडेशन होता है वो सब्सटेंस खुद क्या होता है? वो सब्सटेंस होता है रेड्यूसिंग एजेंट. ओके, तो जिसका रिडक्शन होता है वो खुद होता है ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट, और जिसका ऑक्सीडेशन होता है वो खुद क्या होता है? रेड्यूसिंग एजेंट. इसका मतलब Fe3O4 के प्रेजेंस में हाइड्रोजन का ऑक्सीडेशन हो रहा है, एंड हेंस वी कॉल इट एज ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट. एंड हाइड्रोजन के प्रेजेंस में Fe3O4 का रिडक्शन हो रहा है, एंड हेंस वी कॉल H2 एज reducing agent. So I hope you have understood oxidizing agent and reducing agent. Very important topic. Now let us proceed to few more examples of redox reactions. The first example here is CH4 in the presence of oxygen gives CO2 and H2O. So here let us understand this equation. So here CH4 is getting converted to CO2. So here hydrogen is getting removed and oxygen is getting added. So as oxygen is getting added, this CH4 is getting oxidized, isn't it? So CH4 is getting oxidized to CO2. Similarly, O2 is getting converted to H2O. So here hydrogen is getting added, and as hydrogen is getting added, we say that O2 or oxygen is getting reduced to H2O. Brilliant. Now as CH4 is getting oxidized, itself वो खुद क्या होगा? It will be reducing agent. And as O2 is getting reduced, this will be oxidizing agent. Brilliant. Let us see few more examples. Now here HCl plus O2 gives Cl2 plus H2O. The same thing we are going to do here, students. So let us understand this. Yes, so HCl is getting converted to Cl2. So here what is happening? Yes, hydrogen निकल रहा है, चला जा रहा है. Hydrogen is getting removed, isn't it? So removal of hydrogen is also oxidation. Brilliant. And O2 is getting converted to H2O. So here hydrogen is getting added. पहले O2 था, अभी H2O बना, मतलब hydrogen add हुआ है. And addition of hydrogen is reduction. Brilliant. Now as HCl is getting oxidized, HCl will be reducing agent. Perfect. And as O2 is getting reduced to H2O, O2 will be oxidizing agent. मतलब HCl के प्रेजेंस में ऑक्सीजन इज गेटिंग reduced. तो HCl खुद क्या बना? reducing agent. एंड ऑक्सीजन के प्रेजेंस में HCl क्या कर रहा है? ऑक्सीडाइज्ड हो रहा है. तो ऑक्सीजन क्या बना? ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट. चलो वन मोर एग्जाम्पल. NO2 plus HCl gives MnCl2 plus Cl2 plus H2O. So here MnO2 is getting converted to MnCl2. तो यहाँ पे जो ऑक्सीजन है वो निकल रहा है, रिमूव हो रहा है, isn't it? So as oxygen is getting removed, it is, yes, removal of oxygen is what? Brilliant. It is reduction. And MnO2 खुद क्या होगा? Oxidizing agent. HCl, as it is getting converted to Cl2, we can say it is removal of hydrogen, isn't it? And removal of hydrogen is what? Oxidation. Brilliant. Yes. And as oxidation is taking place for HCl, or HCl is getting oxidized, we can say that HCl itself, वो खुद क्या है? It is a reducing agent. Perfect. Yes, so these are few examples of oxidation and reduction, that is redox reaction. So let us learn more about redox. Yes, so here is an image, students. Yes, this is nothing but electrolysis of molten NaCl. Yes, so I hope you all know that in electrolysis, NaCl, as soon as we pass electricity, it will get converted into respective ions, that is Na plus and Cl minus, isn't it? And Na plus, it is a positive ion. It will get deposited at the cathode, which is the negative electrode, and Cl minus, it is a negative ion, and it will get deposited at the positive electrode, that is the anode. Okay, now as NaCl, okay, let us understand more about this. So in cathode, what is happening near cathode or on cathode, what is happening? As soon as we have Na plus here, students, Na plus will gain electron and it will get converted to sodium atom. Sodium, that is metal, it will get deposited in the cathode. Okay, so Na plus, it will gain an electron and it will get deposited as sodium metal. At anode, what will happen here, students? Cl minus, yes, it will get converted to Cl, yes, which is in the form of gas, and it will lose electron. Okay, so this electron is carried away, then it goes to the cathode again, then in the cathode this electron is accepted, then again chlorine will lose electron, and hence this is how electrolysis takes place. Okay, so students, anode, as it is losing electron, we say that oxidation is taking place at anode. And in cathode, as it is gaining electron, we say that reduction is taking place at cathode. Okay, so these are the cell reactions at anode and cathode respectively. Yes, so oxidation, we can say it is loss of electrons, and reduction, we can say it is gain of electrons. ऑक्सीडेशन हमेशा कहाँ पे होता है? ऑक्सीडेशन हमेशा एनोड पे होता है, एंड रिडक्शन हमेशा कहाँ पे होता है? रिडक्शन हमेशा होता है कैथोड पे, when we are talking about electrolysis. Yes, okay, so let us summarize it. So oxidation, we say it is addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen, or we can also say it is loss of electron. Yes, so for that you can remember this word oil. Okay, electrons के terms में you can remember this word oil. Oxidation is loss of electrons. So oil ऐसे आप याद रखो. और reduction में क्या होता है? It is addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen, or we can say gain of electrons. So for this you may remember the word RIG, R-I-G. Okay, that is reduction is gain of electrons. Students, for more examples, for more topics for you all to practice, I'll also attach a worksheet in the description. So kindly check the worksheet and solve it, and if you have any doubt, you may write it in the comment section. So hope you all understood this video. Thank you so much for watching.